this is Vicki Jervicus of the Greater Gainesville Chamber, and I'm delighted today to welcome Donna Bradbrook. Sorry about that. Bradbrook, right? I got that right the third time. And she is one of our candidates running for the Alachua County Board of Commissioners, and it is District 2 that she would be representing. And we're happy to have you here today, Donna. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we will jump into the questions we have for you.
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate your time today. As mentioned, my name is Donna Bradbrook. I'm running for the Alachua County Commission District 2 race. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, I do have a master's degree in business administration. I have 35 years working in local government agencies throughout the state of Florida, including 20 years working right here for the Alachua County Board of County Commissioners. And just a quick reference back to the Chamber of Commerce. I am a graduate of Leadership Gainesville. I attended in the 2008-2009 season, and then carried that experience into my working life. Some people know me as the Alachua County Citizens Academy coordinator. I took over that program in 2012, and I did redesign the program quite a bit to mirror the Chamber's Leadership Gainesville program, because I received so much good information and so many great experiences from that process that we brought that experience into the Alachua County Citizens Academy program, which, since I have taken that over, has graduated more than 500 Alachua County citizens who've attended and wanted to learn more about their local county government.
Wonderful. Well, we love to have that endorsement of Leadership Gainesville, and certainly every program that engages more of our citizens is a fabulous thing. So thank you for your service doing that. All right, well, let's jump in and get to know you even a little bit better than that. What was your color in LG?
I was yellow.
Me too. There you go. Wonderful. All right, so first question is, what is the role of the Board of County Commissioners in the community, in your opinion?
Yes, so the Board of County Commissioners ultimately is the body that determines the policy and funding for the county as a local government agency. Each county operates a little bit differently with regard to the programs and services that they offer to the citizens. And just to name, a few of those major functions that Alachua County provides. Alachua County provides the funding to all of the constitutional offices, including the sheriff's office, contracts out the operation of the jail, the supervisor of elections, property appraiser, tax collector. But we also offer other public services like our Alachua County Fire Rescue Department, which offers fire services for those municipalities and unincorporated area that don't have their own service, or volunteer offices, and ambulance services countywide. One of the main contentions of a lot of our citizens is the condition of our roadways, but Alachua County does fund and provide policy related to the roadways that are operated by Alachua County government, and that is based on standards that are determined at the state and the federal level for roadway maintenance and roadway safety. And then we offer other programs like countywide services related to our animal resources program, environmental protection, some social services, jail alternative programs, growth management activities, and really the list goes on.
Very good. So the second question I have for you is, what would be your top priorities and projects if you're elected?
I have largely been campaigning on 3 pillars, which is keeping local control local. Alachua County, as well as all of the counties and municipalities in the state of Florida, has recently faced an assault from the state and federal level that significantly limits our ability to govern in the way that our local citizens elect us to govern in. So with that, the Alachua County Board of County Commissioners and me, if I'm elected, will continue to fight that onslaught of erosion of home rule. Keeping local control local is a priority for me. And then beyond that, I am campaigning based on our environmental conservation stewardship activities, conserving those highly sensitive environmental lands, as well as protecting our local family farmers. Keeping our food production local is also very important. Then beyond that, affordability. Affordability for our young families, our retirees, and our recent high school and college graduates is not sustainable. Our cost of housing is going up. Our career paths, with the exception of government and medical, are not developing the way that I think they should be developed in Alachua County. And overall, job prospects are pretty limited in Alachua County, and those are all things that we really need to work on as a community. And then, as I mentioned before, kind of the bane of our existence in Alachua County, but ultimately we do have to look at our infrastructure and specifically how our funding is being used to improve our transportation, specifically our roadways.
Very good. Third question, and you touched upon this a little bit in your opening, but it gives you a chance to talk a little more about it. What particular skills and experiences are you going to bring to this office?
As I mentioned, I do have 35 years experience working in local governments in the state of Florida, specifically 20 years here working with the Board of County Commissioners. So my experience is very broad and very deep in that arena. Previously, I did work for a sheriff's office and I did work for a clerk and comptroller's office. So I do have experience in working with constitutionally elected officials' offices. But I also have experience working with the Broward County Board of County Commissioners and Alachua County. My experiences has ranged since the time that I graduated college. I have worked in offices that have spanned the entire county operations. So I could be working on a project today with our solid waste and resource recovery department. I could be working on a project tomorrow with Public Works, Parks, Conservation Lands, Environmental Protection, Growth Management. I've worked at a very high level, policymaking level of organizations, whether that's been in a human resources function or a finance and budgeting function. Most recently, I've worked on operational performance, including operational auditing, operational performance, reporting, and transparency so that we can better communicate with our citizens the functions that Alachua County does and the outcomes and outputs that are a result of receiving the taxpayer funds. So as I mentioned, I've worked across all areas of the Alachua County Board of County Commissioners, and I've worked very collaboratively with all departments, all constitutional elected officials, judicial offices, as well as all special taxing districts within Alachua County.
Terrific. Now we've got a question that refers to something we're all going to be talking about, I think, a lot. There's already been a lot of conversation about it, and it's only going to get more so. What are your thoughts on the property tax amendment that'll appear on the ballot in the fall?
Sure. Personally, I am very concerned about that ballot initiative and the way that it was approved by the state. For example, they came in on a Monday with draft language. By Tuesday, they realized that they had not included important functions like funding the supervisor of elections. That was an amendment to the item on Tuesday, and then they adopted it on Wednesday. So really not a lot of thought was put into the essential functions of local governments and the uniqueness of those functions. Another example of the language as it currently stands, it includes a item in there that the counties and the municipalities will continue to pay into the Florida retirement system. Obviously, that benefits the statewide retirement plan. But there is no corresponding item in the language that says that the counties or municipalities will continue to fund health insurance for their employees. So that is very concerning if that is something that the language that was thrown together in approximately 2.5 days and approved by the state is implemented in its current form. Certainly if elected as a county commissioner, I will do my best to implement, as will all of the Board of County Commissioners individually and collectively, to implement the language that is adopted by the constituents in the state of Florida. But we will have to do that very carefully and very thoughtfully to ensure that those services that are most important to our local residents are maintained in the best form and fashion we can, with the limited constraints that are within the bill as it is currently written.
Okay, terrific. All right, and then my final question is one of those great wrap-up questions, which is, what prompted you to run for a seat on the commission for this election?
It was really multifaceted, and I was a latecomer to the race. I signed my filing to run paperwork in January 2026. So I was well after the other candidates had already declared. And part of it was that I was contemplating retirement. After 35, almost 36 years working in local governments, I was looking at retiring in 2027. And I started seriously thinking about how I would best give back to my community after retirement. There's a quote often attributed to Denzel Washington that says that 1/3 of our lives we learn, 1/3 we earn, and 1/3 we return. So I was looking at the return component of what I was going to do once I left the job force. And I thought about volunteering and some of my passion projects and all those things that I do currently that I'd like to do more of. And that also corresponded with the start of the legislative session, where, again, as I mentioned, the state entered a number of bills that were going to essentially erode local control and local home rule significantly. And that was very concerning to me. I took about a week to consult with some very close friends, some professional associates, and my family. And I decided that the best use of my skills and abilities was to run for local office, which I love. I have loved working in local governments for all these years. I feel that government closest to the people is actually the most impactful to the local citizens. And with all my knowledge and experience behind me, I thought that this would be a great opportunity to merge what I'm passionate about with the concerns that I have going forward, and with my knowledge, skills, and abilities. So that was why I decided to enter the race in January. And it has been a whirlwind of experiences and meeting new people and hearing concerns of the citizens. And I'm even more convinced now, 6 months later, that this was the right choice for me.
Terrific. All right. Well, we have a couple more minutes before we wrap up. And so I'm going to throw the floor back to you for anything else you'd like to tell us, any other points you'd like to make or amplify. The floor is yours.
Sure. So probably most importantly was the unique circumstances that came out of qualifying in my race as Alachua County Commissioner District 2 race. Right now, there are 4 qualified candidates' names that will show up on the ballot on August 18th. However, because there is no opposing competitor as either a Republican candidate or a write-in or a no-party third-party affiliate candidate, that means that August 18th will be a universal primary within Alachua County. Every registered voter will have the opportunity to vote for this specific race on August 18th, or if you are voting by mail or you do early voting before August 18th. But in this case, every registered voter can make a difference in this race in deciding who will be the next Alachua County Commissioner for District 2. So I do encourage everyone, if you have a question on this, you can reach out to me through my website or my email address, which is donna4countycommissioner@gmail.com, or my website at donnabradbrook.com. I encourage you to share this information with your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers, your relatives, because they may still think that this is a closed primary. This is not a closed primary, and this will be the only race for Commissioner District 2. This will not appear again on the ballot in November. There will not be a runoff in November. So literally, every vote will count on August 18th. So do your research on all of the candidates. Reach out to me if you specifically have any questions. But I can't express enough the importance of going to the ballot and voting for this race. So please, I ask for your vote leading into and on August 18th, 2026. Donna Bradbrook for Alachua County Commissioner, District 2.
Thanks so much, Donna. And you made my wrap up very easy, because that's how I always wrap these up, is to remind everyone as a community, that is how we make our voices heard. That's how we have our representatives that do their best for us to make sure that we are having the community the way we want it, with our needs and our desires. So as Donna said, be sure that you are out there and ready to vote on August 18th. It's an important election, and make your voice heard. Thanks again so much, Donna. It was very nice meeting you today. Good luck out in the campaign trail.
Thank you.